All right, so this is just a quick video talking about Phrolova. Oh, there goes cartethyia. Um, Phrolova, how I use her, the teams I put her in, and all that kind of stuff. So if we go back to, for those of you who saw my, where, if we go here, yeah, here it is. My account overview video, you know what kind of units I have. So you would know kind of from a surface level that I don't have a lot of like traditional units that pair with Furlova. So I don't have Cantarella. Um, I don't really use. I mean, you can use Havoc Rover with Cantarella. I don't really use Havoc Rover that much. Havoc Rover is really good, so it's a good pairing. It's just that I have other uses for her. So right now, her main role is just a Spectro, and I don't like it's annoying swapping builds. Even though the build we have the little where is it? We have this whole thing here. I can't be asked. I'd rather just leave her on one build and that's that. So right now, because her main purpose is just being the Zani Spectral Frazzle applicator, I just like to leave her as that. But that's okay because Frolova doesn't necessarily need Havoc Rover to function. So this is kind of what this video is about. It's just showing off why Frolova is such a good unit in general. You don't need. I mean, you can. Cantarella would obviously help. I'm sure Rochia would help for anybody who like thinks Rochia is good. I guess. Again, the fact that we have Havoc Rover is pretty good. I'm not gonna like talk down Havoc Rover. How good Havoc Rover is. If you invest into her or him, if you have the dude version, if you invest into them, you're gonna get a good return on them. It's just that like I said, I don't like swapping stuff over, and I don't really find the gameplay style of Havoc Rover to be very interesting. And I also like having her in the teams that I have her in a lot more. They're a lot more fun to me. So the first team we're gonna do is kind of just go over her kit. This weapon gives her echo damage and resonance steel damage. Are two main things, plus the defense ignore, which informs why I chose her for this team. First of all, it's hard to run her. It's not hard to. It wouldn't be bad to run her with Shorekeeper, but Shorekeeper gives out 12% crit chance bonus. I'm already hitting the cap for crit chance from her whatever. The other thing is in her kit. Again, you guys know I don't read. I don't really pay attention, but somewhere in here there's a stacking mechanism. I'm pretty sure it's here somewhere. Volatile strings, blah blah blah. Let's see. There we go. Every one stack of after sound, she gets 2.5 crit damage. Basically, what that means, and you might see it right now when I press pause, like when we get all the buffs and everything, you press pause. This crit damage score here reaches like 300 or something. So it's not that you can't use Shorekeeper's 25% crit damage buff, but you're saturating it because she's already getting so much crit damage. A 25 extra on top of that is like a drop in the bucket. So there's a thing of like, okay, we want to maximize everyone's skills and all their abilities. So because she already gains so much crit chance and she gains so much crit damage, you want to find other sources of giving her damage. Which is why I run her on this team with Chisa, because there's other way. Chisa gives non-attack. What's the word? She gives non-traditional forms of damage buffing, which again is why she's paired well with cartethyia. Because if I pair Shorekeeper with cartethyia, it'll be fine. It's not a bad choice to pair her with cartethyia. But you're losing a lot of effect because cartethyia doesn't benefit off of this. So basically, I invested a 3-cost Shorekeeper, right? And I'm only getting like the 1 cost out of her, or the 2 cost, right? So this entire like extra body was worthless when I'm running her with Shorekeeper, or when I'm running Shorekeeper with Cartethyia. So with Cartethyia, you need to find other ways of buffing her that aren't traditionally just attack and the traditional stats and all that stuff, right? Again, not to mention the fact that like Shorekeeper also runs the fallacy, right? So if you want, usually you kind of want to run fallacy because some of her buffs scale off of the energy regen, and energy regen is just good on her in general. And then again, the set bonus is 15% attack. So, like I said, you're wasting a lot of buffs that she provides. So you need to find another way of boosting damage without whatever. That's where Chisa comes in with her weapon. Her weapon gives out a 24% all attribute damage bonus, which is a good thing. So Cardathia scales off of that. Additionally, she also obviously increases the stacking. I'm not going to read all this, but she increases how many arrow erosion stacks you can have on. So she basically does the job that Arrow Rover does. So you go from having 3 as a maximum stacks all the way up to 6 maximum stacks, which is good for cartethyia because in cartethia's mode, she applies stacks. Her skill applies to her last hit on her basic attack chain applies 1. And other ones I don't remember exactly. Again, I'm not, I just play them, but a lot of her skills apply them. But when she turns into Fleur de Lis, her big form, they burn stacks. They use up stacks to deal more damage and all that kind of stuff. The reason that's kind of problematic sometimes is because this weapon, for one, she gains if they have at least 1 stack of arrow erosion, she gets 25% damage amp on the unit. And then she's got a bunch of other things here, I think, that also benefit that they need to have arrow erosion stacks on them. But I don't have all this memorized because it's not important to have it memorized. It's just, you have to know what's on there. There we go, look. Targets with 1 to 3 stacks of arrow erosion take 30% more damage from both of these. Then there's probably more, right? So again, you don't need to know the specifics. You just need to know the broad whatever. So one of the rules with cartethyia is that they need to have arrow erosion stacks. That's all you have to know. One of the problems, again, is that when you're in Fleur de Lis form, she consumes them. So having 6 stacks means that you can wear that down faster, or you can wear that down and you'll still have some left over. Because the problem is, if you only have 3 stacks, when you swap into Fleur de Lis, you hit them like 2 or 3 times. Now they have no stacks. So you're missing this buff from her sword, and then you're missing this, this and whatever other buff she has in her kit. So then when she hits her ultimate, that ultimate is unbuffed by those things, right? So again, that's the problem you're facing. It's why Chikona is useful to apply. It's why you kind of want her Mindscapes or whatever, her resonance chains, to help facilitate that and keep those stacks applied. So that's kind of the basics for running cartethyia. Again, it explains why Chisa is so important to this team because, for one, Chisa gives non-attack scaling damage. So she gives out this plus her. Her thing doesn't actually boost damage. It just increases her own damage. So just whatever. So that doesn't count. But that doesn't matter. It's just like her personal damage also helps out in the team, which is a good thing. But she doesn't have a set that boosts the incoming resonator, which is okay. Where is her outro skill? Thread of Bane. Where is it? Right here. Thread of Bane. When they have max Thread of Bane, it ignores defense by 18%. Then we have, where's the negative status? Where is it? Ring of Chainsaw, blah, blah, blah. The Havoc Bane, because it's Thread of Bane is her thing, but Havoc Bane is the, here it is. So Havoc Bane stacks up to 3 times, and then because she brings the stacks up to 6. You have 6 stacks times 2 is 12. So 12 defense shred plus 18% defense shred is 30% defense shred, which is, again, this is a stat that cartethyia can scale with. 30% defense shred with cartethia's 10% from this weapon. We're at 40% defense shred. So again, she's just here to provide non-attack scaling buffs. And then lastly, Phrolova's here because she helps the team. Not to mention, Chisa also heals with her ult, and you don't need a lot of healing. You just need to have some healing. But Phrolova's here to fulfill in whatever you need extra in terms of like outside damage, because most of Phrolova's damage is off field when she's off field. A lot of it comes from her basic attack, like her hold basic attack once her forte bar is full. That's what it's called, forte bar. I was talking about this in in the rant video that I made a while ago. But anyway, her forte bar, when you fill that, you do a hold basic attack and it does like a huge amount of damage. It's like, not only does it do a huge amount of damage, on like some bosses, it also fills up their tune break meter by like 75%. It's ridiculous. And I'll show that off right now in a little bit. But anyway, the other thing is, you kind of want to make use of her outro skills. So I'm going to showcase 2 teams that I like to use her in. One is this one with cartethyia, because Chisa's on that team by default. So because Chisa's there, Chisa can make use of 20% Havoc damage amplification, but she can't use the heavy attack. You can if you want. If you swap into Chisa and all you do is hold her basic attack to do heavy attacks, you'll benefit from this, but it doesn't really speed up or slow down or rotate. It doesn't really do a whole lot, is the point I'm trying to make. But at least some benefit is coming from her outro skill. But again, most of her skills off her whatever. Frolova's very field, what's the word? Selfless. Like, she doesn't have to be on field to do her damage, right? She's willing and capable and fully happy to just let someone else be on field. The thing with Chisa's thing is she just comes in, does her thing, and leaves. So she gets all her buffs and all that stuff. She just comes in and leaves, and that's it, right? The thing with cartethyia is she is extremely field hungry, which is why Chikona, when she does like her ult and all that kind of stuff, it's built to just be off field. So when you swap off of her, she does her little like singing thing and she does buffs and all that stuff. Like Chikona's built to just be off field because cartethyia is so field hungry. But if you can facilitate that with another unit like Phrolova, you get similar results, right? So I'm gonna kind of go over some rotations and how I play this team. We'll go over the other team as well, but I don't know. We're here because these enemies can be kind of damage spongy, so we're just gonna pick. I'm not gonna go with these just because they one shot you. So if anybody was curious, I have most of these done. I'm still working on these. I'm missing like 5, or 6 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or no, I got this one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. I'm missing these 5. And again, it's just because they're really boring to fight against. They just one-shot you. That's all. You just have to keep trying until you memorize their hit patterns so that you can, every time they hit you, you can dodge, because not all of them are easy to dodge. So it's just trial and error. Don't sweat it if you can't do it. Just keep trying it, and eventually your brain kind of instinctively starts doing it, right? You just start doing it based on repetition. But I'm trying to find, like, what's a good boss? He kind of stands still, so we're just gonna go with. We'll go with here. So what I like to do. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. My rotation's already messed up because of how much damage he did. We're gonna try with a weaker one. Just again, I need them to be bullet spongy. The problem with this game is unlike Zenless. There's no training mode, so you kind of have to like find something. Let's try here. Okay, so the point is, stop it. I hate this opening because he doesn't do anything. This is like, is this fun? Like, I don't understand. Like, yes, I can dodge and do like basics while I'm dodging, if I can dodge. But anyway, so you basically, the rotation starts off. It's also hard to talk and explain at the same time. A lot of people will. So you want to do that, and you want to do this. So you want to have both of those 2 swords maxed out. And then this happens, and this happens. So you can do this. That applies, and then you just keep doing that. So basically, the rotation is to do that, and you want to make sure you do her echo skill as soon as possible. So that's on cooldown. And then you swap into Phrolova. Now, Frolova's animation cancels. You can cancel that right there and still get the full effect out of that. So you do this. When it does that, you just cancel it by dashing. The other thing is, when you start doing her this here, when you do that, you can cancel right into the echo skill. Oh my gosh, she doesn't have a lot of health, but he hits really hard, which is really annoying. But anyway, so and then you also have to hit a unit, because if I'm just go away, shut up, leave me alone. If I'm just doing it free ball out here, it doesn't work very well. But you can cancel that into your echo skill. So you see how long that takes to do that whole animation. This is how she's played if you just spam her. So instead of just doing that, you can shorten that by doing this. So whenever she does that, well, actually I messed up there. You have to get this. Okay, so now you see all that time I saved. I can be doing something else. So 1, and then you echo skill, because you want to get echo skills off with her, because let's go look at her. She's starting to stack up, I think. How many stacks do I have? Oh, well, you can't really see them. I don't know where they are. Anyway, you want to, every time you swap into someone, you want to get their echo, you want to burn their echo skill as fast as possible, just because of how useful it is. But yeah, so that's kind of how you play Phrolova. You do 2 rotations. So you come in. What I like to do is get her echo skill out of the way first. So you do that and then echo skill. The second one you do, you just kind of dodge cancel, and then you do another one. As soon as you do those 2, I can't move my mouse either. Well, we'll do this to burn all this stuff. And then we'll burn all this and then get this out of the way here. Yes, shut up, go away. Okay. When you do this, this gives you 2. So on the first activation and the pass-through, so let's go back here. There has to be like a good, like, bullet sponge enemy here somewhere. One that's not so irritating. I don't know, whatever. So 1, Of course. Yep. I hate that. I have to find a better enemy to fight against. It's because so normally let's just retry. Normally I would fight like a world boss, but the world bosses just melt too fast, and then it just takes forever for them to respawn. Here you can just respawn as much as you need to. Okay, so you do this, and that gives you 2. So basically, you do that once, you cancel with her echo skill. The second time, you cancel with her dash. So we can come over here. You cancel with her dash, and then you do this. And by the time you resonance skill is the last one, you can hold, while the resonance skill is activating, you just hold the basic attack, and then that basic attack you just saw, her forte thing, will come out as soon as possible. Then you just trigger the whatever. Of course, everything's still one-shot to, even though he's like 2 levels down from max, but whatever. We'll retry. So yeah, you get 2 of her swords, you swap over into her. Of course. And I lost the thing because he knocked me out of it. Dodge attacks are good because they get you to your and then you do this. And this gets you to your ult. Now she's in this stage. Every time, as you can see down there, every time that combination of getting her to her 6 little notes and then doing her forte charge attack and then her ult, that rotation every single time will always end. It should. I've never had it not end with full concerto meter, but theoretically, every single time you do that whole combination should always end with her concerto meter up, fully maxed out, so you can outro skill from her and then intro skill into the next person. So in this case, you're outro skilling from Phrolova and you're intro skilling into Chisa, whose ult should almost always be up, just to get the healing off real quick. You echo skill, and then normally her forte gauge isn't full, but again, the thing with Chisa is that combo that you just saw, coming in, echo skilling, ulting, you have to do, a lot of times you have to do 1 basic attack chain to fill out her forte gauge. Once her forte gauge is done, you do the chainsaw, hold down the basic attack button to completely burn that entire chainsaw meter, and then do the slam down. Before when she puts the scythe overhead, before she actually slams onto the floor, her concerto meter, basically the point I'm trying to make is that as soon as her concerto meter is full and she starts the animation for that slam, you can swap into cartethyia as soon as possible. As you can see, she's still there, right? So you can see that she's still there. So basically, that entire rotation is how you play this team. When you outro skill out of Chisa and intro skill into cartethyia, she does this that heavy attack. However, her intro skill does a triple heavy attack, so it's like 3 orbs. That way, now she has all 3 swords. The last sword, the middle sword, or it doesn't matter which sword does what, but one sword comes from doing her resonance skill. One sword comes from doing her basic attack 5, which you can also do that one. It's this one that does that little whatever. So you can either do your whole basic attack sequence to get that, or you can dodge, then do the basic attack sequence. Either way, when you want to get that final move down, and that gives you a sword. As you can see, the one on... Oh, and then he's dead. The one all the way on the left... Yes, shut up, go away. The one all the way on the left it looks a little different. It doesn't have like the swirlies around it. And yes, shut the heck up, man. My gosh. Let's see if it'll... No, oh, there you go. See, the sword comes out. So to act... That means it's I guess it's like... It's there, it exists. To prime it, you have to slam attack. So there you go. Which is why normally what you do is you resonance skill, because at the end of the resonance skill lifts you up into the air, and if you basic attack, it'll slam you down. So when you swap back into cartethyia, you also want to do her echo skill again as well to get more stacks on Phrolova. So once that's done, again, that's to minimize how much time you have on her in cartethyia form, because cartethyia form is just here to apply arrow erosion stacks. Her buffs only last 15 seconds, so you want as much of those buffs during fleur-de-lis time as possible when resonators inflict, right? So, again, fleur-de-lis does not inflict arrow erosion during her big form, right? Fleur-de-lis form. However, when she does, I think her Threadbane, when an attack hits, increases max stacks. somewhere on here, I think it's her skill. Anyway, I think her skill says that when they're targeted by her, like, because you can see, let's go turn on the enemy again here. Let's go here. So right now, you see him, he's not targeted. Now that he's targeted, there's that triangle on him. I think what that triangle does is once someone else see, look, now I'm hitting him, other people are applying Havoc Bane to him. So that's kind of what that triangle does. Anyway, the point being is that that triangle triggers her sword. So whenever Resonators in team inflict negative status effects. So that, even though in Fleur-de-Lis form, even though when she's Fleur-de-Lis form, she's consuming arrow erosion stacks, she's still applying the Havoc Bane stacks. So this is constantly refreshing, right? But anyway, the point is, like, there's other buffs and everything, all that stuff. You want to have her rotation as tight as possible to do that. So I guess, let's see. Let's start over and let's see if I can get a full rotation on him without killing him. I'm gonna have to go up a difficulty because now that I'm quote unquote trying, let's see if what I'm doing here, if I know what I'm doing. Oh, I forgot that she had that. And of course, I hate. I'm gonna swap over. Let's try a different enemy just because this one's really irritating. Yeah, shut up, go away. Let's see. You don't have any irritating opening mechanics, do you? Higher arrow res. This isn't too bad. I like this because it'll make it so that we don't kill him too fast. Or kill her too fast. 40 seconds, my gosh. Anyway, so we're doing this, blah, 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 and then we come into her. Oh, I got hit. And then, see, while she's doing that animation, you just hold basic attack, intro, or alt, then outro into Chisa intro. Actually, the first thing you want to do on Chisa is probably Echo Skill, because I think her Echo Skill gives her some kind of bonus or whatever. See, now you got to do some basic attacks to get her 4-day meter all the way. And then, again, the issue with Chisa is that it takes a lot to do her rotation. She's on the field a long time. Like, you have to do that entire sequence. And these bosses just, again, they're not conducive to do this in. The rotation's a little faster, a little easier when you're doing TOA or Whimpering Wastes, because they don't, like, one-shot you constantly. Let's see if I can try again. Okay. And there you go. So that's her rotation. It's done. Then you ult. Let's see if we can get Chisa not to die like an idiot. Again, I keep forgetting to Echo Skill. I think you're supposed to Echo Skill first. Again, I can dodge. Like, when I can dodge, I can dodge. It's not that hard. But, well, actually, I guess it is that hard considering I'm about to die. But then when you do this, unfortunately, the problem is you have to sit there and charge that attack. So let's pretend like she did that, and then you swap into Fleur-de-Lis, and then you just do what Fleur-de-Lis does, right? So the rotation from here is fairly simple. You just keep hitting people until that meter at the bottom, her Forte gauge, is full. And then there you go. So the only reason we're missing arrow erosion stacks is because the rotation was a little shorter. I just swapped into her without, like, I hard swapped because Chisa died. But yeah, like I said, so you can see why fighting these guys is really irritating. Let's go back. I just need to heal Chisa. Yes, go away. Shut up. There's just, like I said, there's nothing in the overworld that's, like, tanky enough. Everything just dies in, like, one shot. No, leave me alone. But anyway, you guys have seen the rotation when I do Whimpering Wastes or Tower Adversity when I use this team. This is, like, one of the more common teams I use. So this is why I like this team. Again, it has issues fighting against bosses like this. Like, the damage output is ridiculous. It is probably the highest damaging team I have because Fleur-de-Lis plus Phrolova, like, Phrolova herself carries a lot of the damage. But hopefully this kind of shows you why when I was doing the tier list review, the Pridwin tier list review, it was surprising to me to see Phrolova as a main DPS. Now in this team, take this, like, take it any way you want. But in this team, Phrolova might still be the main DPS. Like, she might still do the most damage out of anybody on this team. But when I was watching that tier list, my initial impression was main DPS meant on-field DPS. So that was just kind of a misunderstanding on my part. So like I said, I read that and I was like, oh, on-field DPS, who uses Phrolova on-field? No, main DPS just means who does the most damage. So in that case, then that might be accurate. And I'm not, again, it wasn't that big a deal, but it was just, to me, I got a lot of comments kind of correcting me on that, and I appreciate that correction. It's kind of the whole point I make these videos. But yeah, like I said, so hopefully you guys can see from my perspective why I see Phrolova that way. Is because she's always like a secondary, like off field, while my main field people are doing their thing, right? So, but yeah, so that's how you play this team. Kind of fairly simple. Again, you kind of want to preload these swords before, and then you echo, and then you swap into Phrolova and do her thing. That way, you come into Chisa, do all her stuff, and then Chisa gets you into her. Chisa gives you the outro skill into cartethia's intro skill, which gives her the last sword and applies more arrow erosion stacks. And then she goes fleur-de-lis, and then, you know, most of your buffs last as long as possible, and you stay in fleur-de-lis form as long as possible. So then, at the end of fleur-de-lis form, you ult when her forte gauge is full. You ult with her slashing, whatever. Theoretically, they should have arrow damage, arrow erosion stacks on them. And then after that, the follow-up is you swap back into Phrolova, who does her little like meteor nuke thing, and then there you go. That usually kills most things. Now, the other team I wanted to talk about was probably my favorite pairing, because, like, again, I like Phrolova on this team because both of them can use Chisa, and both of them benefit from having non-traditional buffs. Again, Phrolova still likes attack and all that, which is fine. But again, just the fact that Chisa can use her buff, half of her outro buff, and all the synergy is pretty good, just because of how field greedy cartethyia is. Now, another team that I like to use a lot is this one. This one is generally probably my favorite team using the two of these, just because how well they work with each other. Let's go look at this one. It's harder to describe because it's not just one rotation on paper. What you do is, let's go fight a guy. This one's a little safer theoretically because I have Shorekeeper, but you know, we'll see. Who's like a not that irritating an enemy to fight? This guy's not that irritating. So basically, you kind of want to animation cancel this into her. So while she's doing her ult or whatever, you just do this. You ult. You swap over to whatever her name is. Yeah, she does her thing. The point of this team is obviously look at all these animation cancels you can do. Augusta has this, and then she has this. So while she's crashing down, you see you got that animation. So while she's doing this, and this takes forever, you swap into her, and now you get another animation cancel. So right now, that heavy attack, she completes that heavy attack. And while she's completing this, you come in and you do this, and then you swap again, right? So the point of this team is that Phrolova and Augusta have so many, like, animations you can quick swap from, and they fill in each other super well. And the other thing I want to oh my gosh, this is the phase I hate about this boss too. Again, every boss here has something irritating that's just like a waste of your time. So anyway, let's retry just for the sake of doing it. So again, so she has this. Again, you can animation cancel that. So while she's completing that, you can do something else with someone else. The other beneficial thing is that Phrolova's biggest buff is also her heavy attack damage bonus, right? She gives 20 havoc, but she gives 25 heavy attack. Again, Augusta can't use the havoc, but she can use the heavy attack. Now, why that's important? Normally, under normal circumstances, you have to build up the concerto meter. Here, the concerto meter is full, so they give you the outro skills immediately. But the reason that's important, let's go here and let's just burn them. So here, and then so that she doesn't have it. Okay. So normally, what you do is, oh, come on. I messed that up there. Yes, whatever. Shut up. Oh, I forgot I don't have the stellar field open for healing. When you fight these bosses, they give you a lot of the concerto meter and the resonance energy. They max it out when you enter. So it kind of makes it a little. Yes. Okay. Whatever. Do this and then you do this. Okay. So 1, 2, and then you once that starts again. So you can complete that with this. And then while she's doing that again. So there's just a lot of animation cancels that you can swap out during. Obviously, you still want to do echo skills with her. But the thing with Phrolova is no matter what, she cannot generate, like if you're being efficient with Phrolova, she cannot generate enough concerto energy until she uses her ult. So once she uses her ult, one of the issues is when you're quick swapping, like if you're using Zhang Liao and you're using like Chang Li or whatever, well, that's kind of a bad example because Chang Li has like a 20% liberation damage on her outro. It's like 20. It's like 25 fire and then 20 liberation, I think. Liberation. Well, anyway, if you're using a quick swap team that doesn't care about the outro skills, that's fine. You don't have to worry about the timing. But in this case, because you want to make use of Phrolova's outro skill, when you're doing a lot of other quick swap teams, it's hard to keep track of the concerto meter. So it's like, okay, I quick swap in, use this character skill, swap over to the other person, do their stuff, and sometimes that meter might be full. So you swap over to the other character, but maybe the other character only has like 1 or 2 moves to do and can't use that buff to the fullest. The reason I like this team is because Augusta, once her ult is up and ready to go, like once her concerto meter is up, you swap over to Augusta and her ult should be ready. Her real ult, this one, the one she has right now. So basically, you know, you kind of just do, well, in theory anyway. So you do this. Again, her rotation should always get her to this point where her concerto meter is full. Oh my gosh, come on. So anyway, you swap into her, you have her thing, her outro skill, and then you just do this, and all this takes those bonuses, right? And then you just stay on her. The rotation from here is you stay on Augusta until her outro skill is ready, and you swap back into what's her name? Well, from here you can do one or the other. Yes, go away, shut up. My gosh, man. From here you can do one of two things. Once you swap from Phrolova into Augusta, and then you rip her real ult, her hold ult. After that's done and you finish filling out your concerto meter, you either swap into her, but you could also swap into Phrolova because at this point, like you activate this. So you do this, you swap into her, she does her stuff, and then she outros into her. This should have the third realm all the way up. So you get the 12% crit chance plus the 25% crit damage plus all the attack bonuses and all the other stuff. And then you rip her ult because then she has Phrolova's outro skill on her. So once that's done, ideally you want to swap back into Phrolova. Hopefully by the time you swap back into Phrolova, hopefully by the time you swap into Phrolova again, you've used up all of her little notes. Because when she's over here doing her like off-field attacks, it burns her notes over time. So once those are finished, you swap back into her, and then she does her Meteor Crash, which should be buffed by the Stellar Realm being golden, you know, with the 12 crit chance and the 25% crit damage. And then from there, you swap back into, into Shorekeeper. Ideally, I prefer to go from Augusta to Shorekeeper, because that way Shorekeeper gets her intro skill. But her intro skill, it's a question of like, her intro skill probably doesn't do as much damage as Phrolova's thing does. So it's probably just better to go into Phrolova, get her intro skill, and then go into her. Because if you go from Augusta to Phrolova, you don't get Shorekeeper's intro skill, which makes it hard. Her rotations become a little harder. Because her intro skill gives her a lot of concerto meter. Well, not a lot, but a decent amount. Without it, it takes a little longer to get her rotation done faster. If you have a full variation, I'm pretty sure that's not a big deal. Just if you're using this team the way I use it, you have to kind of realize that the intro skill helps contribute to the meter a lot more. So in my case, most often if you see me using this team, I'll go from Phrolova into Shorekeeper to get her intro skill, and then have her rotation be smoother, and then go into her. She'll get the Meteor Crash down liberate her ultimate, the capstone of her ult. She'll get that Meteor Crash down when you swap back into her. it'll be reduced damage because by the time you're done with Shorekeeper, you're gonna reapply the realm, and Phrolova's only gonna get the 12% crit chance and not the crit damage. Which, again, one of the issues with Phrolova, she's already capping crit chance. It's not that big a deal. But again, the 40% attack buff is beneficial to her anyway. So, but yeah, that's kind of that. Again, just let's go to POA, I guess. Might be easier to showcase. I kind of want to do like a last kind of cap off, like show you guys what the rotation looks like in play. Let's go here. Do I have... Oh, I was using this team here. I can't do that there then. I guess I can just go fight. Again, the problem is, like, I can fight... Well, I guess let's go fight this guy. I can fight these guys, but they melt too fast. Let me kind of show you what the issue is. Let's see how fast I kill this guy. I don't care. I'm not going to collect the resources anyway. We'll do this, and then we'll do the cartethyia one to just kind of see what this rotation looks like in motion. Again, for those of you who've seen my TOA videos, whenever I use this team, I've done it a lot. So. I don't have enough energy for the ult, but that's fine. We're just going to pretend the Stellar Realm was there. Yes. Did I not dodge that? Oh, wow. There you go. Skill issue. While she's doing that, I swap into here. Again, now her ult is ready. Again, just imagine, what's her name? Her ring was up right now. You do this, you ult. All that quick swapping should have built up some concerto meter on Augusta, so now her ult is ready. You can continue doing moves like just hitting people here and there, but that's kind of just the main part of it. Again, it's nothing too fancy. It's nice to have them fill in each other's gaps. Is the bottom line. So we'll try this again with the cartethyia team, and hopefully we don't melt that guy too fast.
Join me in accompaniment. Symphony of life. We wither together. Thus wails rejoicing. Chant songs of old. A pivotal moment. Flicker into form. Exiles in a breath. Structural collapse. Break apart. Collapse. Be gone, wicked souls. True form revealed at last.